My name is Rafael, you're watching Rock and Roll Garage, and today I'm going to tell you a really interesting story of when Lynyrd Skynyrd met John Lennon. That's right. But first, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment. Well, back in 1974, Lynyrd Skynyrd had released only their first album, which was called Pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd in 1973. And they were about to record their second album, which was called Second Helping. And they went on to record that album at the record plant in Los Angeles. And Al Cooper was the one who was producing the band. And it was there that they coincidentally had the chance to meet John Lennon. And it was the band's guitarist, Gary Rossington, who recalled the story a few years ago, and this is what he said in an interview with Up Rocks back in 2018. The late guitarist said, "We were at the record plant in LA, and Al Cooper was producing us. He had a lot of friends out there. He'd done Electric Ladyland with Hendrix, played with Michael Bloomfield on the Super Sessions album, and of course played with Bob Dylan on organ on Like a Rolling Stone. He was a big time, and John stopped by the studio to see him. He wasn't with Yoko, he was with that girlfriend he had for that year off, who was Mae Pank. And when they came in, we were playing a song. When they all walked into the studio, into the booth, we all saw it was him and freaked out. We quit playing, scared us. There was John Lennon, a Beatle. We got to meet him, shake his hand, and then went across the street and had lunch with him. It was great." So this was the incredible moment that really happened when John Lennon stopped a Lynyrd Skynyrd session from their second album, Second Helping, which was incredible. It had probably their biggest hit, Sweet Home Alabama, alongside Free Bird. I'm not sure which one is the most famous one, but it had Sweet Home Alabama. It had other important songs like Working for the MCA, Call Me the Breeze, and The Ballad of Curtis Lowe. The record reached peaked at number 12 on the Billboard album charts after a few months after its release. And another interesting fact between Lynyrd Skynyrd and the Beatles is that the studio they had in Nashville was called Blackbird, inspired by the band's famous song, which is often played by Paul McCartney on his solo shows. And it was inspired by that Beatles song. The studio was located in Nashville, Tennessee, because of that famous song. And Gary Rossington, who sadly passed away not long ago, and it was the final original member of the band who was still a member of the band. He recalled in an interview in 2016 with Country Rebel, and this is what he said: "I'm a Beatles freak, and we love the Beatles, so it's called Blackbird after the Beatles. There's all these pictures of Beatles and different equipment they used. Even some of the board in there in the control room, the Beatles used on mastering certain things. It's just really cool." So that's how he explained his love for the Beatles, especially. And if you're a Lynyrd Skynyrd fan, you probably know that the band sadly had a tragic end. The classic lineup of the band, who sadly, a few members of the group passed away, including the legendary vocalist, Ronnie Van Zant. And it was a plane crash. They were active. The band was formed in Jacksonville, Florida in 1964. They went through a lot of name changes until they finally adopted the name Lynyrd Skynyrd, inspired by a school teacher who was actually called Leonard Skynyrd. And they remained active with that name until 1977 when the tragic plane crash happened. Many people survived, many band members, including Gary Rossington, survived, but crew members and the vocalist Ronnie Van Zant, for example, sadly passed away too soon. At the time they had released 5 successful studio albums. All the biggest songs of the band were released during that era, although the group was reactivated in 1987 with Ronnie's brother, who still is the vocalist of the band until these days. And Gary Rossington was the surviving member who was part of this new lineup until his final days. During the final year, he was not touring anymore with the group because he was sick. But they certainly are one of the most successful and influential bands of all time. That, like the Beatles, were really active for a short period of time. And that's it. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to read more and read all these Gary Rossington interviews. You can go to the description, read the article I wrote about it. You're going to find the links to those interviews. And don't forget to subscribe. Okay? Thank you for watching, and I see you later.